tonal qualities, you're also more likely to pick up some of their gestures. Just keep them you, don't try and be them. Yeah? But if you've got these variety of things, and there are a whole variety of things, you've got lots of different ways of building and establishing rapport, but hold on to rapport. And if you lose rapport, back up. Think about what is it I said, did, or what happened that made me lose rapport. And if you're working with pairs of people, you have to work doubly hard. If you're working with a group, you have to work even harder again. Gain understanding. Identify what motivates the client. You want to understand where they're coming from. Now, what I've experienced in my time in the fitness industry is lots and lots of really well qualified instructors and PTs and group exercise teachers. They're actually more interested in the content of what they're delivering than the person they're delivering it to. So they see, I see Les, and I don't think of Les as a person, I think of him as, oh, he's the guy that I do the really hard Viper stuff with, followed by the kettlebell training, followed by that because we've done something else in the past. They're more interested in the content of what's taught than the person they're teaching it to. And a parallel to that would be in the medical environment where you would see a doctor who thinks of you as a condition and how to treat you rather than as a person. So it becomes important to understand what is it about this person, what is it that's motivating this person. Now, one of the simplest questions you can ask to identify what motivates them is to find out what their values are. Now, I might ask a question, I'm going to ask a question of one or two of you in a second. And the question is simply as this: what do you want? Now, in the context, you have to think about this. Everything is contextual. So, in training, who has got a PT client that when they're in their work life, the client's work life, they have to make hundreds of decisions every day. They're in charge, powerful, do this, do this, do this, do this. And when they're walking to you, you go, right, and they go, just tell me what to do. Yeah. So in the context of work, they're in charge. In the context of PT, you're in charge. They don't want to think, you go, what do you fancy, this or this? And they go, no, just tell me what to do. Now, there are going to be clients like that because the context is, I come here to switch off from that and I give you permission to be in charge. So, but we want to understand what motivates them, what's important to them. So the question is, what do you want? Simple. And then listen. Don't be planning ahead before they've answered the question. Don't be watching someone walk through the door and as soon as they walk through the door you go, I know what you need. Hi, my name's Paul, nice to meet you. And you've decided that they're going on a weight loss program because you've looked at them and they need it. Whether that's what they asked for or not. Again, I used to see that when we used to do a lot more fitness testing. I used to see that in fitness testing where someone would come through the door, the instructor would make a decision about the person, fitness test them, and still give them the same program they were going to give them when they walked through the door. So they just made them go through all the tests, and the test didn't describe or link to what the program was. They'd gone, oh, in fact, you need to lose weight. And that's the program you're going to get. So understand them. What do you want? So when you train, what do you want? What do you want from training?
Leanness.
Leanness.
And functionality.
Okay, and what will that do for you?
Make me leaner and able to still walk around when I'm a bit older.
Okay, and what will that do for you?
Make me happy.
Okay, and why do you value that?
Because I like being happy.
Okay, he wants to be happy. What was the first thing he said he wanted? Lean and functionality. Because what his perception is, and I agree with you, his perception is, if I am lean and I have greater functionality, I'll be happy. Now, what do you reckon is going to be a bigger motivator? Being happy or being lean? Happy, because it's an emotion. Lean isn't an emotion. Being lean creates an emotion, and if I start to say, okay, so if I gave you an exercise program or we worked together to develop a program that would get you lean, And in the future, you'd have all this great functionality also. You know, we'd need a longer conversation. How would that make you feel? Because feeling is an emotion. He goes, that'll make me really happy. So if we get this happy program together, I wouldn't use that language. I'm more likely to be able to motivate him than if I just go, okay, what we need to do then is this. I need to understand what motivates him, what his drivers are, not what he says initially. What do you want from training?
I want good structural help and good muscle tone and good flexibility.
Okay, and what will that do for you?
It means that I won't have so many conditions associated with ageing so soon.
Okay.
And means that I will be able to be mobile into old age and have reasonably good health and look reasonably good.
Okay, right. Just a pause, if I could pause me live. An MI technique here, this underlying, that sounds as if you want to maintain your youth and fend off aging.
Yeah, probably true, yeah.
That was a guess.
It's not a difficult guess, she's a woman.
No. You said that, not me.
That's what they all do.
Watch this. Back away from that comment. But all I did there, going back to earlier, was make a guess that you said, I want this, because this is what that means to you. And you laughed, you think, probably wouldn't have wanted to say that in front of all these people, because you'd filter it. But straight away, I've now got beyond, I want this, because I now know what that does for you. Yeah? So any information I present going forward will relate to those areas, because I know those are the buttons I have to go, boop. And then the topics of nutrition. Oh, you've seen this. I don't go, oh, this is about being functional. Because you go, oh yeah, right. I link it to what that drives it, what the values are. And why would you value what you've described? Why would you value that?
That's a very good question.
I know.
It's actually what all my clients also want.
Because I think
Okay.
the two people that you more or less are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Both same thing.
That's it.
Quality of life, look good.
Yeah.
Lean is just looking good.
What he means by lean might be different. You know, what I mean by lean isn't what some people mean by lean. It just means leaner than this. It doesn't mean, you know, chiseled. It just means not this fat.
It's quality of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that
That's
makes you
fine.
happy if you've got a good quality of life and you enjoy the free of aches and pains.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily, it doesn't make you happy, but it enables you.
Gives you the tools for the
Perception.
possibility.
Yeah.
The perception of happiness.
Let me just point something out. As you try and describe that, how does it make you feel?
Interesting. Not me interesting, but yeah, does that make you happy when you achieve it?
Well, as you talk about it, you can't help but start to be happy when you talk about being happy.
Yeah.
I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. She sits in her high chair and she does this game. Happy, sad. Happy, sad. Happy, sad. All the way through dinner sometimes. But she already knows to be happy, head up. And if she talks about, if you talk about being happy, guess what happens to your mood? Your physiology changes. If you talk about being miserable and sad, guess what happens to your mood? If you hang out with miserable and sad people, guess what happens to your mood? So ask questions, identify the motivators, and there will be more than just one, you know, and I'm just sort of overviewing this really, but what do you want? Why is important to you? You ask why, because why requires a justification. Why questions require a justification. When someone's justifying something to you, they're also justifying it to themselves, even if it's irrational. How many of you work with clients who perhaps smoke? Or got partners that smoke? If you want them to change their behaviour, do not ask the question, why do you smoke? Because they go, oh, well, I really want to give up, but, which means they've just cancelled everything else. I smoke because. When they answer a question why, they have to justify it to themselves and to you. So they're having two conversations at the same time. Ask why questions about positive behaviours in the future. Why would you want to be lean? Because just into answering it in your head, you're justifying it. I don't want you to justify it. Why do you want this? Oh, really? And why do you want that? It'll also help me identify, in terms of your motivation, whether you're towards motivated or away from motivated. Towards means that's something I want. Away from, in this context, would mean that's something I don't want. Okay. No, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What's your name?
Maureen.
Maureen. They're going to make a judgment on you here, Maureen.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
go with it, love. Away from or towards?
Away.
Away. I don't want... Which way? I've got to look to see where I put away. I don't want that.